Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live at The Real Bloom from Love. I go by Bloomy. Hope y'all are doing all right wherever you are on the globe, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you click on this video. Anything that you need to know about me should be listed in the description box. And this is not a reading, okay? I do have all zodiac signs and all that, hashtag into the title. The title is The Story of Bloomy. The Story. The Story of Bloomy. I have promised many of my faithful HIGHVIBE viewers, followers, subscribers on both YouTube and TikTok that at some point I would begin to tell the story, that I would give you guys more and more as time proceeded about the story of Bloomy, that I would give you guys more details, that I was trying to feel my way through and have a balance between, what I want to share, what's going to be helpful to share for you guys on your journey. A part of my particular journey and path is to be authentic, to be kind of like an open book to a degree, to share the story, to not just, give the parts about, oh, the victory, the mountaintop, the success, yada, yada, but really to tell you guys, because people see people like myself and they don't know what was the making of that person, right? Human nature, we look at folks, whether it's on social media or whomever and wherever, we look at them, but we don't understand the depth, right? What is the making of that person? How did they become that person? What was involved? What is their story? You can rest assured there's always a real story. Okay, if anybody, appears to be successful on any level, if they have any kind of a healing energy to them, it's the reason. Okay, it's not just because they Google searched it. Okay, it's not just because they Google searched it and they, copied and pasted and copycat it. That's not, real energy healing or the essence of somebody. That's more of a copycat type energy, okay? And people trying to essentially mimic things, and they think it's just about the visuals, right? Oh, I can copy this. I can go buy a flower pan. I can buy a Tibetan singing bowl. I can get some crystals. I could put some sounds on. I could, people really think that that's all that's to it, but it's not. Okay, it's not. It's really not. I understand people do that, but I'm not talking about the shallow and more superficial appearances of success or appearances of things. Okay, the making of blooming. The image that I selected is actually an image. It's not based on me. It's an image based on what breeded me, what I come from, what I come out of, and how it paved the way into all of the various things and changes that I've gone through. You guys, this is a totally unscripted, freestyling, coming out. I'm authentic that way. I rarely, sit down and have a whole plan out and I'm going to say this and say that. I usually just get some kind of an inkling and download of sorts from either my higher self, spirit guides, whatever, and then I'll run with it. Okay, usually. Part of my journey is to speak truth. See, my story is that of two, an enabler and a tongue biter. What greeted Bloomy is Bloomy was veered, birthed, raised, indoctrinated, if you will, into a karmic family. And what do I mean, karmic family? You guys hear me talk about this stuff all the time. Okay. Mental illness, low vibration, a lot of envy, jealousy, a lot of dysfunction. But it was very, very masked to the masses. Masked. You wouldn't have known it. You wouldn't have seen it. You wouldn't have thought it. These were things that were always secret and always hidden to the public eye. Okay, because of the need for a persona. Okay. And this is going all the way back far beyond just me. This is going back. This is why it was so deeply ingrained and never broken. No one ever really talked about it. No one would ever even really admit it. Okay, everyone just kind of likes to play the game. False spirituality, false Christianity, false godliness, lies, illusions, triangulation, spell work, mind fuckery. That's my family. That image of that woman that you all may see when you click on is an image of the type of feminine energy I've been around from the beginning. And when I say feminine energy, I want to specify something. Because most of the feminine energies that I've been around as I was born, incarnated, and raised, and time proceeded, they were women that were operating out of a distorted masculine. Okay? They were women, but they operated out of distorted masculine. Okay? Starting with my grandmother on my mother's side. It's a story behind that. My mother, she became distorted feminine, passive, aggressive, and projected all of her pain that she absorbed from her own childhood, from her mother, as well as the men of her life. Okay? My father and all that transpired between he and her upon her children, namely me. Okay? So and let me make this clear. This is not let's feel sorry for Bloomy, because there's really no need for that. Not a victim. Not anymore. This is not about that. Okay? This is to help some of you understand me, who I am, and why you see and sense and hear the depths of things through what I do. Here at Bloom from Love. Why you hear the passion, why you hear the conviction, all these various things, there's stories behind it. Okay? And it's also to bring awareness and hopefully some kind of confirmation for many of you who are actually on a very similar path, that you're not crazy. This is the illusion that these people painted, which is atypical of narcissism, about you, right? This is the greatest way you can hide your abuse. So I was straight away born into distorted energy, like most, okay? Like most of us are on some level. And there was a lot of jealousy, envy, and hate from the beginning. A lot of evil eye. You can do that just by a stare, a look, right? Mind you, starseed, earth angel, right? So let me tell you some funny stories. So growing up, like you guys hear me mention every so often, that I was super sensitive. I didn't like seeing people hurt, even my abusers, even people who didn't treat me properly, even people who didn't nurture me properly, starting with my own family. So when I would see my grandmother, which is the one who raised me, up until she passed when I was 13 years old. The story of my grandmother is very interesting. I'm gonna share with you all also. I'm trying to stay on track. I'm gonna also share with you guys what I've come to know, since her death. Okay, what happens and what she's aware of, and why she is one of my guides, and why she is a part of karmically whooping people's ass. It's ironic because in her 3D, that was the starting of the toxicity and dysfunction, but there's so much to the story, so many distortions and half truths and all sorts of things over time. So, as a little girl, I was always one that was kind of super, super sensitive, right? I didn't like to see people hurt, seeing them cry or seeing them hurt, and seeing aggression and anger and all of that stuff used to make me sad. It used to make me cry. And I would either go sit in a corner or something, because it was just, again, a starseed and an earth angel was like, cannot register. What is this? Right? So my grandmother in her early years, she was an alcoholic, manic depressive, um, just a lot. And, she would just cry, sometimes. And, then she ended up having cancer, breast cancer and things like that. But I didn't even like that. I would sit on the side of the bed and would hug her. Listen to me, you guys. I'm a little girl, mind you. Okay. Where I should be being consoled. I should have been being nurtured and comforted and reassured. I'm a little girl, all of maybe 5 and 6. Okay. Sitting on the side of her bed, trying to console her. Don't cry, grandmother. Don't cry. Don't cry. Right? I would, you know what I'm saying? She had bouts. I saw a lot of anger and hate very early, but you wouldn't have never known it because to the public persona, we were, this family that, the grandmother that cooks the dinners and did everybody's hair, and we were in the drill teams, and you know, yada yada. And so, went to church and was a part of, church and things and, functions and choirs and, so to the world, but that's not the real reality. So my older sister, which is, I'll get into that in a minute, trying to stay on track here. My older sister on my mother's side of the family, she and I were raised together by my grandmother. She and I are polar opposites, literally. I know why now. But back then, her energy was more of, she was a rebel. She absorbed my grandmother's anger and actually just literally became like my grandmother. Okay. But she was like bold. She didn't care about getting in trouble. She didn't care, man. She did not hurt. She didn't care about getting beat with an extension cord and bleeding and all that, because my grandmother would have bouts, for a long time. And me, I was the other way. I was like, I didn't, I'm like, nope, I'm going to avoid, you know what I'm saying? So we had totally different energy. But I would cry. I remember, seeing my grandmother flip out. I don't know what my sister may have done or what could have caused, and my sister ends up in trouble, and gets like the beat down of all beat downs, you know what I'm saying, with extension cords till she's bleeding. I remember that, and I was like, just my whole little energetic system, my whole little nervous system could not like compute like who hates it, like that anger and rage at one's own offspring like that. Couldn't compute. So I would cry. I mean, what could I do? I would go sit in front of the heater, the wall heater. We used to have this wall heater. I used to go and sit, and I would be sitting there crying because it's like so much anger, so much violence, so much hate. And then we go about life after that, like we're, you know, just these upstanding families, and, you know, everybody loves us, and, you know, yada, yada. This is what I saw from the beginning. I also saw that, you know, this is prior to my grandmother's passing. You know, she would tell us all these stories, you know, about my mom and our dad, right? About them not wanting us, giving us over. You know, it was just very toxic and weird. Like this, I'm saying this to you guys so you guys can know that first and foremost, if your story is similar, you're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever that the individuals that are in this lower frequency, this mental illness, this, you know, you've absorbed the shit from their mental illness and failure to get it properly healed and deal with all of it on an energetic level, soul level. So you've absorbed this, okay? If you were a star-seeding earth angel, there was already indignation towards you, much like Cinderella. I was going to pick an image of Cinderella and her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. But forget about it being step. It's like whoever is your people, right? Indignation towards Cinderella for what? What was the envy all about? What was the jealousy all about? Why, you know, why were they insisted upon, you know, trying to control her life? Why were they insisted upon trying to keep her in a dungeon? Why were they insisted upon trying to take her life? Why? Right? Mental illness, it's energy. And Cinderella, if you want to equate it to anything, you know, well, it might have been a starseed, an earth angel. That purity enraged them. And they wanted her, the only way that they could feel better is by trying to oppress her, trying to take from her, trying to take what's hers. They didn't want her to go to the ball, right? So they try to create chaos and conflict and obstacles and chores and whatnot. You can't go because you need to do this and that and this and that and this and that. Let's go so we can try to, you know, woo woo, right? Always strategizing, always planning, always trying to minimize Cinderella's life and take what was hers. This is my story. In your younger years, you don't understand. You can't fathom, you can't compute why the people that in which you were born into. When I was really, 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 really little, my mom used to actually tease me. I heard another reader talk about this the other day, and it kind of reminded me. I'm like, wow, look how we normalize these things. It's gaslighting, it's deflecting. My mother used to tease me when I was a little girl. I'm not talking about the fun teasing, okay? So understand what I'm saying. She used to tease me when she would come around. This is before my grandmother passed away. And back then there was this old movie called, I'm gonna say it was Dark Crystal or something like that. An old school, like kind of new agey, alien, otherworldly kind of movie. And it was a character, Kira was a character in that movie that she would reference me as. And Kira had like these really pointy ears. And so my mom used to tease and go, Kira, 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 right? Seems harmless, doesn't it? But it's not if you didn't get any validation and nurturing from your mother, right? The subtleties, the insidiousness of some of the things that took place behind the doors. And then even people who knew, who may have known, turned blind eye because it's that flying monkey energy, remember? It's that control, it's that, manipulation, very strong manipulation energy. Black magic, spell work, lies, triangulation, games. I told you guys about a conversation I had with her, you know, um, back in January. But see, by then I already knew what I was dealing with and decided to approach something a certain way on purpose and decided to record it on purpose. Because when you come to see, like I have, the toxicity and the dysfunctionality of how a family operates and call it normal, and you start healing and awakening and realizing some of the stuff they've been doing to you, that they have been saying about you, that they have been planning behind your back and smiling in your face, you realize I'm dealing with my enemy in my own blood, so I'm going to have to approach them accordingly. And when it comes to my mother, she has always been good at that. My extended family on my mother's side, they don't even trust her. They were the ones for years always saying, your guys' mom is a liar. She's always lying. She's always lying. And our conditioning, we used to go, well, it's still my, family energy, but that only further perpetuates it's okay to allow dysfunction as long as if it's your family, right? And that right there is a whole little outfit, a whole little uniform. You know what I'm saying? That's an illusion too. So that one could appear to be a hero or somebody that's trying to keep something together, and it's all fake. Back in, I want to say early 2021, okay? This was, I'm trying to remember if it was, oh, wait, it was 2020. No, it was at the end of 2020. Yep, the end of 2020. And I think it was like right before, I'm trying to remember. It could have been right before I had woke up for the last time with my twin. And she had been sick or went to the hospital, something, yada, yada. And, oh, thank you, Spirit Guides. Okay, here, thank you. This is going to answer the question for many that says, well, what happened between you and your family, Bloomy? Why you don't want nothing to do with your family? Why is there no connection? Why is there no dealing? Okay, what took place? And to be quite honest, to really answer that, it's far beyond any one particular event. I will say that. It was a series over time leading to one. And as I was healing and awakening by that point, the tolerance level became less and less to pretend and deal with fuck shit. So it was the end of 2020. as used, my mom is in manipulative energy, that trauma bonding energy that toxic families use as a means, right? Ain't thinking about you at all, ain't calling you, ain't talking to you, don't care if you dead or alive, honey. If you're on the street, if you're fucking, you know what I'm saying, whatever, up until somebody gets ill, right? So have, in other words, having really nothing much to do with you. It's more about them. So, you know, my older sister had reached out to me about that because she likes to play the role of the hero. That's that's a whole facade as well. We'll talk about that too in a minute. And so she reached out, you know, mom, you know, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm like, okay. At that point, to be honest, I'm like, okay, I don't even know why they even be bothered. Because I'm like, these people don't talk to me. These people don't call me. They don't talk to me. They're not interested in me, anything shy of what they can get out of me or how they want to benefit from me or how they want to dump on me in some way. So why the fuck they bother? I don't know. So I was like, okay, you know, cool. I still spoke. My older sister, you know, said something like, because we hadn't talked, you see, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute about that. She called. We hadn't talked in like forever since our last falling out because I had the audacity to stand up to her, and I did it in a very respectful, calm manner. You guys will be shocked, but I decided, you know, I stood up to her, and you know, me and my son, we suffered a lot of mistreatment at the hands of these people that tried to portray like they were trying to be so helpful to us. Okay, they knew I didn't have anybody in Las Vegas, and they lured me out here under false pretense. Okay, they knew that. They knew that my son was disabled. They knew all these things. Okay, but because you know I'm not a yes person, you know, because I wouldn't continue to tolerate disrespect, because I had a voice, because, you know what I'm saying, I suffered that. I suffered lots of injustices. I can tell story after story of the things that these people did when I stayed with them that they would not tell you. All that they would tell you is that they let me come and stay at their home, and they gave me this and they did that. They're not going to tell you the full truth. This is why I long got over giving a fuck. Because if people are that shallow in their thinking or that um, lacking depth or discernment or understanding of human nature, you know, then that's just too bad. If they're gonna just that easily be believing some story on some shit that they ain't even nowhere near around because they got 5 flying monkeys to co-sign their story, then so let it be. But prior to my mom taking ill that last time, you know, I left my sister's home. She had been doing spell work on me this whole time. She does spell work on many. Yeah. And, you know, they knew that I didn't have nobody out here yet. When I asked if I could give any of them gas, when I found somewhere for me and my son to go that last time, everybody stone faced, act like they were too busy, ignored me, right? I already told the story about being sick there, shitting out of my ass and vomiting, me and my son. Told that story, right? It was a lot of little things like that for no reason. There's no reason for it. They tell lies. You know what I'm saying? I haven't, let me just say this and say this for the record and say it good. These motherfuckers. Okay? This is one of the reasons why when I was around my family, whether that was my mother and my stepfather or my sisters and nieces, when their men were around, I didn't want to be too much there. I was uncomfortable, and here's why. I already knew. I told you guys, I sensed a long time ago the jealousy, the envy. Okay? I knew the little comments here and there, the stares, right? The insinuations, all these little things. And so I just didn't have the energy for it. So I may have come off very weird and kind of standoffish. Why? Because I didn't want somebody trying to even imply nothing. Because I sure enough didn't want none of them motherfuckers. Let's just say that. Okay? But beyond that, that's just not in me. Okay? Unlike, right? It's not in me. But they went around telling all sorts of stories behind my back, yet they would call me here and there. I'm gonna give you another case in point. Like I said, my mom reached out to me. She wasn't reaching out to me in authenticity. That's why I recorded stuff. And that's also why I had another presence. Because I wanted it written, I wanted it recorded for one day. Okay? So they're good at that word salad and that twisting shit. That's narcissism, that's sociopath, right? Energy, psychopath energy. Spell work and shit, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa puff. You make it in their corners and shit, shimmy, shimmy. Let's get a spell. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but they scapegoated me and tried to act like I was the one into it. Some fucked up shit, ain't it? Ain't it, y'all? I was scapegoat. Why? Because I'm authentic and I don't need no approval. Because I understand that people's perceptions about certain things is based on their limited understanding, consciousness, and you know, all that good old shit. So I ain't got time to be, you know what I'm saying, worrying about, oh, they think this is of the devil. No, motherfuckers. Let's get something straight. Devilish energy is essentially the way they conduct. Lying, sneaky, backbiting, triangulating, gossiping, stealing, willing to do anything for a house. Yeah, I said. And some money that don't belong to you. So I kind of kept a level because I got tired of dealing with it. If somebody's complimenting something on a picture or something, all that stuff was doing for my family is stirring up their envy and jealousy. Hence why my sister went on a whole endeavor to get 4 surgeries and all sorts of shit and whatever. Nothing's wrong with that stuff, but it's what's behind it though. Hear what I'm saying? My family tried to act like and portray to everyone that I was confused, that I was having just this hard time in life, that I was a simpleton. I was going through a spiritual awakening. I was lured from me and my son's stability in California under false pretense, first and foremost. And then started going through an awakening where I should have been surrounded by loving and kind and compassionate and understanding supportive energy. I wasn't. They used it as a way to kick me when I was down and to try to elevate themselves and to steal what was not theirs. And to scapegoat their shit onto me. Okay. Y'all, it's gonna be good for somebody. Somebody gonna appreciate this right here. So they lie. Oh, they ain't tell all the full story. Not one time. And they don't got the balls to say it all to me in my face in front of everybody because they lie too much. They can't keep up with their stories. They projected, they hold them onto me. My life's journey, most of my fuck shit was done in my early years, y'all. I'm gonna keep it on the 100. Okay? I ain't saying that I'm perfect. Like anybody else, if you're going through healing and an ascension and a start night of the soul, you bleed red like everybody else. But most of my fuck shit, to be on the 100, was done in my early years. When I say fuck shit, I'm talking about, always looking for love in all the wrong places. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that was where my answer was going to be, right? But they lied and tried to act like I was some whore, you know what I'm saying? And they were the whores. In old age, old whores. Okay? But they tried to act like I was so unstable. But they was taking part in creating the instability with, first of all, their black magic, chaos, and conflict spells, luring me out here under false pretense, knowing that I didn't have anybody and that I still had to take care of my disabled adult son with no help from no one. Okay? So-called supposed to be in the real estate mortgage industry. And when I had financial difficulties, tried to be on a fake ass high horse like they was doing good, and the motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, on keeping it on a 100, was using credit of others. Okay, my younger sister's credit was spell casting and doing shit. The motherfuckers, the shit. Okay, just keep it on 100. Okay, had addictions and problems beyond what you probably even know. But when I had struggles, wanted to try to, oh my gosh, they're just, what the fuck? Like, so many things were said that has come to the light for me now. It's like, I'm an adult, a grown person. What the fuck do your older sister and your mama having some kind of secret conversation about you and your business, and because they knew when I started, when Bloom from Within Love, which used to be called Empath Holistic Healing, they knew when that, started, right? And the last time that I lived with my sister, she had told me, she was like, me and mom was having a conversation about you, and we feel like you really found your niche, and we were just saying that. And I'm like, I looked at her, I was like, you know what? Something's wrong with these people. Because first of all, I'm a grown as hell. I don't need their approval. I wasn't asking them nothing about that. Just like they ain't asking me nothing about their lives and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they tried to act like they're doing this big deal for letting me and my son lay our head on their pillows, but they sure wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They tried to portray like they were taking care of us. No, the fuck, they were not. I'm gonna make that clear. No, the fuck, they were not. If you're screaming all this family, family, want to go to the meeting and the damn reunion and parties and shit, right? But wanted to try to kick me when I was down. And they asses wasn't of integrity. They asses was sucking and fucking and you know what I'm saying, getting cash and shit. Sugar daddies and shit. But act like they're so together. Right? No the fuck. And that's when I realized, collective, I was like, yeah, They're way too concerned and involved about my creations. How about get your own shit? Your own inspiration. Your own path. My mother tried to act like, you know what I'm saying? I already got it. I got the full 4-in-1, y'all. I'm telling you. As time proceeds, I'm going to reveal more and more. And I feel like my guides are green lighting it because of the grave injustices and of the things that they continue to do. The Story of Bloomy. They wanted to benefit off of me, but try to act like I'm disillusioned. Do you see how twisted this stuff is? My mom, would so often would send a message or would call, be like, oh, you should send your mom a recipe on the smoothies and always asking me for information. This is another thing, collective. Start paying attention to that. Okay. They call you, they do all this under the cuff. Oh, what book are you reading? My little sister did that. My youngest sister on my mother's side. I'm going down the line. Yep, I sure am. But I was aware that she was being a flying monkey for my older sister because by then I wasn't talking to my older sister. So I knew they didn't think I would see past the flattery or the inquiry. Oh, hi, just wanted to say hi. Don't ever talk to me ever, right? Okay. But here we go. I'm just sending a message, say hi. Hope you and Darrell are doing all right. Sure you do. I was just wondering, what book did you read for your journey to become awakened? Because, I'm on a similar, I resonate with something similar, but I'm really, I've been discouraged. The people around me have discouraged me, from this. And so I was just wondering, what books did you read and to get you on your journey and path and to get started? I smiled. I paused. And this is a text message. I said, all right. She's a flying monkey. They're trying to get information. They try to act like I'm dumb and disillusioned, yet they're trying to learn from me at the same time. Because you never saw their presence. Any of you who are my viewers, followers, or subscribers, have you ever saw their presence on anything I've ever done? Have you ever? I mean, from the beginning. Have you ever? That should tell you something, right? But they would call or send a message and want to know stuff and want to talk to me. If I'm so disillusioned, If I'm so out there, if I'm so confused, why the fuck were they coming to me? Why do they stalk me? Secretly. And think that I don't know. So I told him, said, well, when I got the guidance, I gave a very general statement. I said, well, I can totally understand. I could totally relate. Because most people don't understand me, and most people, especially when you're coming from that crab in the bucket, generational, disillusionment and cultural conditionings and all that. So I was like, oh yeah, I get it, totally. And I said, well, and what I said was actually the truth, but it was general. I said, well, there's no one book in particular, but your soul knows when you are ready for your awakening and will start to lead and guide you to things that you're ready for and open to, which is actually true. Because it's not about just wanting to find some book anyway. And that's something that 3D based people, they cannot seem to understand this. So, but it was all about recon. Okay, because that's the flying monkey energy. When they can't get to you directly, they start to send their people that they think you'd be open to, that you may take down your defenses for. They just didn't know that this time around I had already started catching flu a little bit. So I used it to my advantage. Especially this last time with my mom. Because this is her MO. That's what she did. Right? It's that guilt, it's that loneliness, and it's that flying monkey energy. Recon. Oh, I talked to her and she said this and that, and this is what she did. I tell you nothing. I got to the point where I'm like, they will get nothing. I tell them nothing. Nothing that I don't want to tell them. Nothing. And if I tell them something, I'm going to misguide them on purpose. Because of their blatant disrespect to me. You want to call me and text me and talk to me and act like you wasn't fucking strategizing about me behind my back? Really? You want to say hee hee and ha ha and chit chat and shoot the breeze and shit? Like you didn't know the whole was sucking and fucking to get a house? For real though. Real, like you want part of the whole little get down and shit, whoop, with the spells and shit, 1-800 cast a death spell on them, motherfucker. Huh? Oh, she's so, we just know the fuck. No. So what happened, collective, the story of Bloomy here. The last time that, prior to when I spoke with my sister the last time, when I left her house the last time, here's what happened. It's so much prior to that led up to why I'm done with my family. But prior to that, okay, this last time here, I was there as usual, as I had predicted. It wasn't going to be much different. I saw her strategizing. I saw all sorts of stuff when I was there, as usual. There was mistreatment, as usual. But the thing that happened, she has an entitled energy like narcissists do. And she came into the living room and sat down and was saying something. I was like, okay. She was like, just basically directing me and telling me shit like I was one of her daughters. And so I didn't get mad. I didn't fly off the handle. That's not my energy. Now you guys get to see a little bit more of you guys see more of the edgy side because I have embraced that. It's a part of me too. It's a part of checking my focus. But it's like, okay, don't get it twisted. Don't get this shit twisted, motherfuckers. Okay? Like that's a real legit energy, okay? And it's just as divine. Yin and yang, duality, polarity, light and dark, right? So she came in, living room, and like basically, about my crystals and things, So this is why I'm laughing now because I'm like, oh, I'm weird, huh? But they was all on my helmet, all in my energy, trying to grab my crystals and my fucking, I'm saying, all the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But then behind my back was trying to act like I was into some dark shit when they are the ones indeed that are into the dark shit. Okay. So, well, she came, and I was like, okay. So I just got up. I was calm. Like I said, I didn't, but I had already started going to therapy and counseling. Listen to me, y'all. Healthy people do not have a problem doing that. It's those that are unhealthy that do. So they have tried to portray like I was just unstable and I'm more stable than all of them. Yep, I said that too. Because I'm not talking about if I'm able to suck and fuck my way into a house on a hill and a Mercedes Benz and shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about having a criminal mind and being a criminal and breaking laws and bending rules and papers to get some shit. That does not mean you stable, motherfuckers. Okay? Don't mean you healthy and you sound. Criminals can do that. It's called intelligent criminal. Hello. So, like I said, well, I was already starting to. I went through trauma. Me and my son have been traumatized, y'all. We were lured into Vegas in false pretense. We were going through all these changes. I was trying to find my way, doing the best I could, going through an awakening at the same time, still making my own decisions and choices and mistakes at the same time because I believe like everybody else. My son got attacked out here. Okay. We were traumatized by how unloving this place was, and worse yet, how unloving our own family was. My own son didn't ever want to be there. And he was nice and sweet because that's his energy. He has his mother's energy. Trying to console motherfuckers so they won't be mean as fuck. So I got up. I was getting counseling and therapy, trying to deal with the trauma, trying to readjust. Anytime you uproot your life and go way somewhere else, I don't care if you're 1,000 years old, it's going to have an effect on you. But they tried to make me feel bad about that. They tried to make me feel low. Why? They're insecure. I know now. I know now. So I got up and I just went to her room. I'll tell you guys what happened. I went to her room, totally calm. I said, hey, I said, listen, I know you may not have meant this, but I felt a little bit uncomfortable at, your way of kind of saying to me and demanding me, to do this. I'm like, I'm just letting you know that I'm like, you can ask me, would I or do I mind, going with you or showing you the crystals, because she wanted me. She was basically directing me and saying that She was like, I'm going to take you here and I need you to this. And you're going to, take me over here and, get these crystals and stuff I need for my office and my, right? That's how she did it. But I was still calm because, like my statement, I said, okay, I understand that you may not have meant it. However, see, healthy adult relationships are not about just turning a blind eye and saying, oh, they didn't mean it. You can engage healthily and say, hey, to bring things to people's attention, if you can do it in a healthy, balanced, and respectful manner. Because not everybody is self-aware. That's healthy communication. And that ticked her off. She attacked me. She's like, well, it's just my, it's just my voice, and I can't be. Oh my God, I can't be on. This is what narcissists do. Anytime you call them on something, I can't be walking on eggshells. I'm like, I'm not saying that, and I was still calm. And then, that wasn't enough. So she projected, which narcissists do, they project their own junk. So she then said, whatever, she's looking in the mirror because the vanity of the narcissist, man. I got stories, y'all, to tell y'all about this stuff that I've watched. And I was just being sincere, and I was being an adult, and I was standing up for myself in a kind way and following suit with things that I was receiving out of therapy and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so, she's like, you know what, you really need to get get checked out, get your head checked out or something like that. I looked at her, I kind of smiled. I said, really? I said, well, that was insulting, right? See, this is what they do. They lash out. And I just said, actually, just to answer her question, I was like, actually, it's kind of what they're advising me to do. Thank you, bitch. Because unlike you, I don't have a problem sitting in therapy and being introspective and with a professional, not my flying monkey. Right? So, and then after that, like a child, silent treatment, weird, closed off, you know what I'm saying? And then, I was still looking for another place for me and my son. That was the whole goal. I was trying to set it up to where it was comfortable for him, comfortable so I can do all the things I need to do on my terms, not theirs. That's a whole nother video. And then, she comes like, do you find your place yet? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I'll have it, whatever day. And then when the day came, right, it's still me and my son, right? I didn't have a car at this time. So, but they're not going to tell all that, right? They're going to tell you the stories about, oh, well, she came to my house in her car and she's going to let my niece have the car and then it got towed and then my niece got it out and this and that. They're going to tell you the distorted version of that. I bet you they're not going to tell you the communication that actually took place between me and my niece and what she actually said and what that misunderstanding was all about. They're not going to also tell you that they kicked me out and wanted me to give them my last money, which was to give me and my son to either a room or wherever we were going to go. And they didn't give a fuck. They're not going to tell you that. And how they all made light of it. Like it was no big deal. Right? But that last time, when I left that last time, right there, I was like, okay, I'm gone. And even though I didn't have it all figured out, my spirit guides, my light team, they all assisted me on being able to do it on my own, essentially. when I moved, and then trying to get adjusted like it is, it's just me and my son, right? And I was like, oh my God, that was like the first week or something. I found me a new job and everything. Then my mom, this is what I'm saying, all this narcissistic fuck shit, they took delight in watching me suffer and struggle. So that's why I'm saying fuck them at this point. Because they have not held themselves accountable. They are not sorry about it. They ain't admitting it. They're still doing fuck shit. So fuck them. And if they keep fucking with me, bloom from within love. And what I do, they are under investigation and anyone connected to them. That's right. Because I'm done. Forgiving somebody, you guys, and letting things go. You guys hear me say this all the time. It doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to what people did. It doesn't mean that you go about pretending like nothing ever happened, especially for people who are still doing fuck shit against you behind your back. Especially for people who haven't even owned up to what they have done and have not made proper atonement for it. Forgiving doesn't mean that, okay, no, it means that energetically you work on that, you deal with your guys, you cut the cords, you release them, you wish them well, you up the duck, you go through that. But it don't mean that you pretend, which is essentially what narcissistic toxic family dynamics is all about. Illusion, pretending. I no longer have a desire to be connected to anything and anyone that wants to use me or my son as a scapegoat for their fuck shit. And fake love. I have no interest in it. I have no interest in being connected to people that should love you and care for you but are jealous and sabotagery and trying to compete. Yes, my own mother, yes, my sisters, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. Yes, the fuck, yes, and yes, and yes. Always, every conversation with them is always an attempt to one up every last one of them. I'm like, so then what the fuck you calling me for and why you asking me questions if you got the answers then? Right? Why are you actually codependent on my energy, but you're trying to act like I'm codependent on you? You're the one that's stalking my shit. You're the one that's copycatting my shit. When I walked away, I was actually able to do just that, walk away. I wasn't stalking them. I wasn't trying to be on their shit. I wasn't trying to copycat nothing of them. I wasn't talking much about them until all had been revealed. About all that was actually at play to sabotage things. They came together to come against the connection that I had, and probably many others. I believe they told my twin flame all sorts of shit. All kind of shit. All kind of half truths. Now, I don't totally blame, he's responsible too, because it's like, okay, he was up to fuck shit too. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, it's kind of like, who does that? You got to have some damn brains of your own too. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't place all the blame on them on that, but solely on the blood, I do. Absolutely. Because they're the ones that should have been genetically, you know what I'm saying? Right? Who does that? Who sits back in groups and talk about their offspring? Who does that? But try to act pious like it's some godly shit. Ain't nothing godly about none of that shit. They need to stop. We're just concerned, she has what she has is she's surviving narcissistic abuse from y'all's toxic asses from her whole life while trying to raise herself and heal herself and her son after dealing with the land of fucking Walking Dead, karmic motherfuckers. And these people had the audacity to be bothered by Bloom from Within Love success. They stalked me. They teamed up, came on my channels, double teaming. Don't send her any money. This is a scam. And they are the biggest scam artists of all time. Thieves and shit. I had that going on top of religious nuts. Okay? And what I mean by that is, again, people in that fear and ego 3D based limited view and perspective of what God is. Thinking that it gives them jurisdiction to go about bullying and harassing people with their fucking 12-page comments and shit. Jealous motherfuckers. Because nobody want to hear nothing they saying. So they got to come on some disguise shit. Don't have the balls and the guts to face me. None of them do. But get their flying monkeys. Watch your auntie's videos and come tell me what she's saying and doing and stuff. So I've made lists. They're all under investigation now. You don't get to do that. I went on with my life. And they didn't like that I did just that. The only way they were able to feel good is if they felt like they were victorious over me. Like they ruined me, like I was some sad Sally somewhere, feeling lost and hopeless. And not bitches, not motherfuckers. Ah! Yeah. What happened? I healed. They only have, it's sad to me to this day. I tell you guys to this day, I'm like, this. I just shake my head. That's all I can do. It's like, I'm like, really though? You old as hell. Shit. Really though? For real? For real? Okay. I knew it was some fuck shit, y'all. Collective, I'm telling y'all the story about Bloomy. How did Bloomy come to be? Why is Bloomy powerful? What happened? Why? Why does she have 9 lives? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? I'm telling y'all. Bloomy's not perfect. Bloomy never pertains to be, though. See? Pay attention. But Bloomy has no malice. Okay? No malice. Even though my family, you know what I'm saying, had did all this stuff, I always knew that they did not treat me properly. I'm not dumb. I knew they were envious and jealous. I knew they were always trying to compete and compare. Sick me. Get tired of that shit. It's like, y'all supposed to be motherfuckers I could look up to. Motherfuckers just trying to encourage me. This is some sick shit. I'm done. I knew towards the end of my last relationship with my twin flame, that last go around, I told you guys I knew there was foul play. I couldn't put my finger all the way on it. So this is why I tell you guys, I advise y'all to not go the same route that I did. My Hioka energy kind of kicked in, where it's like he was being deceptive, and so I reflected it back to him. He was doing things behind my back. He was talking to my sister, strategizing with her, amongst other whores and other motherfuckers. Okay? Behind my back, being deceptive the whole time. He had other hoes, other houses and shit, all kind of shit, right? And I knew. So I reflected his deception to a degree. I had reached out to my sister, because she had reached out to me again. I want to say we hadn't talked. This is before Christmas. We hadn't talked since I had left her house, whoop, and she had called or some shit. My mom was sick, yada yada, right? I'm trying to put it all together, y'all. There's so many different things that happened. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's why. Okay. So I had already had left her house, whoop. Then she had called, because my mom, whatever. So there was a 3-way conference call. Thank you, team. It was a 3-way conference call, right? And I was just tired of it, guys. Look, you get to this place in your journey and your healing, it just becomes less and less tolerable, man. You just get tired. You get tired of faking. You get tired of, putting up the facade. This ain't about shit. The same shit. Like, I don't got time for this. I don't want to trauma bond with y'all. I'm not interested in playing We Are Family and shit because you don't think about my ass now no other time. So what the fuck? Why are we here? What do you want? Okay. It's like, okay, she in hospital. Okay, what? I'm kind of as a matter of fact at this point. And when I discover it's nothing but fuck shit, I'm like, doo. We were on a 3-way conference, we had figured out what was going on. My mom, she had gotten her whatever, and okay. Because see, they always got to control everything. I'm like, okay, so you need to control everything, huh? I'm sick of that shit too. That's another reason I'm out. Have time for that. I'm grown. Everybody, we are all grown. We all know how to communicate for ourselves. So, and so we were on the phone, me, my mom, and my sisters, and they weren't talking about shit except for my brother's wife. They were gossiping about my brother's wife. Yup. Something she said or didn't say or whatever. But I just wasn't interested, you guys. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. I was already agitated and tired. I was already going through my own stuff. I was still with my ex at the time. I was dealing with my son. I think I was out and about handling errands and trying to wash or some shit like that. And I was just like, oh, this is just getting on my nerves. I was just like, quick, whatever, man. Because it was them talking. I was holding the phone. And that pissed them off. But did any of them call and say, hey, are you okay? We realize you disconnected. No, they never done that. What happened was my mom, weeks after, sent her fucking book of a text message talking about her legacy and shit. Talking about, we don't have to like each other. Her fake appearance of trying to bring unity. Right? Talking about, my legacy. And I said, and I think I even told her this the last time I talked to her, I was like, legacy of what? Fuck shit. Legacy of dysfunction, legacy of jealousy, legacy, of triangulation, yet legacy of what? 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 I don't owe her. See, that's that flying monkey shit. That's that golden child scapegoating, all that other stuff. It's like, first of all, we're way grown. If anybody was in a pure energy and they had a concern, a question, they could have called and texted like, hey, you got disconnected, you were gone. And nobody did that. And guess what, collective? I got tired. I am not their fucking guru. I'm not their scapegoat. And I don't owe them shit. I'm just as grown as they are. They feel justified. They play those same games constantly. Oh, I don't want to talk to her. I'm mad at her because she stood up to me. I sent a text to my older sister wishing her a Merry Christmas in 2020 or some shit like that. She didn't respond. Right? Then she sent my flying monkey sister around asking about some other shit. And, oh, I want to tell you about mom. I'm like, no, why are you guys calling me now? Why are you calling me now? I'm so confused. So then after my, she sent my flying monkey sister to so-called, whatever. Then, like, I never had a relationship. That was supposed to make me want to start chasing. I was like, yeah, see through that too. And I was like, well, I send y'all love and light energy. She's like, well, send us energy, send me energy, my little sister. And I was like, I always do, which is actually truth. It was truth. But there was no thank you after that. So I knew right there. I was like, nope, cutting that off too. Then they both commenced to send me pictures of when we were little. I don't give a fuck about no pictures when we were little. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I want apologies, bitches. I want truth, bitches. Like, I'm not playing with these people. Now no more. I'm not thirsty and desperate for affection. I have learned how to parent myself. I have learned how to heal. So I'm not looking to fit in now no more. Especially motherfuckers that's constantly strategizing about me behind my back. Thinking entitled, they're entitled to my shit. Boy, I tell you what. They have nothing to do with Bloom from Within Love, so they damn sure shouldn't benefit from it. And if they keep on, like I said, they're under investigation. And everybody connected to them. Practitioners they have utilized. All this stuff is traceable. This is why I smile and I chuckle, because people's intelligence, but it's like, well, you do know that I don't care how much of a burner phone it was, or a fake account it was, or a so-and-so, all of it is traceable. Intelligence, FBI, CIA, come on. Whether they sharing, they homies, all of them. That's right. That's right. This is what played a role in creating me, you guys. I came into this world dealing with toxic, karmic, jealous family. And this is a part of the dysfunction that the ancestors and the higher ups wanted broken. My mom always crying on me. I made a promise to my mother when she died that I would always keep you constant together. I bet you she didn't tell you to to talk about her grandchildren behind their back. I bet you she didn't say lie and triangulate and play games and be jealous and project and manipulative, because in her ascension, in her passing away, she is not who you remember her to be. She wanted the shit to be broken, not no fake ass togetherness, motherfucker. She wanted all this toxicity, this keeping family secrets, lying, pretending, projecting, using your own children's credit, disrespectful, no damn boundaries, feeling entitled to somebody else's energy, somebody else's success, somebody else's money, somebody else's identity, somebody else's credit. That's the shit they want, broken motherfuckers. This narcissistic foolery here. Golden child and a toxic psychotic. Not wanting to acknowledge and admit that something's not right. They wanted that kind of shit broken and dealt with. Healing, not pretending. You can't heal something that you're pretending isn't there. You're pretending it ain't happening, pretending they didn't do it. And from there, collective, I've experienced, through clergy, church, leadership, just very distorted jealousy, envy. And I'm not saying this in the way people really think. You can be jealous of all sorts of stuff. Everybody ain't jealous about what somebody's got or what somebody's look like, okay? People could be jealous of your boldness because maybe they don't even have the courage and they live in fear and they settle and they're pissed about it. And now they want to skirt tail off of what you put into. I think the fuck not. It's judgment time. So I hung up the phone, and then, time went by. And like I said, my little sister reached out, then my older sister reached out. I didn't respond to this. I don't want that because I'm done. I'd already meditated, prayed, and went through all of my process and handed it over. I'm like, light team, I'm open, but I'm not dealing with nobody that can't hold themselves accountable to me. And when I say accountable to me, I'm not talking about like their life. They have a right to live their life as they wish. That's for them to work out and figure out. So that's not what I'm saying, accountable. I'm talking about if people can't come real and clean and honest to me, then I have no interest in a connection. I just do not. I'm not doing a pretend connection. I'm not that desperate. I'm not that thirsty. I want sincerity. I'm not impressed by money. I'm not impressed by stuff. I'm not impressed by clout. I'm not impressed by looks. I'm not impressed by none of it. I want sincerity. Because anything shy of that, I mean, when I say sincerity, I don't even want a fake apology. I don't want no dry ass, empty ass, fake apology that I had to trigger you into even giving. That's telling me that you ain't even there. I have no time for you. I have no room in my life any further for inauthentic connections. Life is too short. And I realize that this has been disrespectful to me and my son and my journey and our divinity and our right, our divine birthright to healthy, vibrant, mutually reciprocal, mutually respectful, loving, and kind connection by dealing with people that don't have the capacity, looking at us like some kind of meal ticket or some kind of a dumping camp for their energetic shit. I don't think so. We will not be scapegoated. We will not be silenced. And we will not be sacrificed. I have no interest in being around people who actually wished me and my son dead. I have no interest in dealing with anybody who actually was trying to set me up or my son, because I didn't want nothing to do with now none of they sorry asses. I have no interest in being connected to anybody who stole my inheritance, anything that was left to me by somebody, and they did your asses and trying to pretend like it didn't happen. I have no interest. None. And this is me sending a vibrational signal to the universe that me and my son are on the path of the journey of love of self and divinity, understanding that we have a right to be here. This is our body, our mind, and we create accordingly. And I do not permit no external fuck shit no more. And in fact, I have returned to sender on a release of a time loop for motherfuckers that's insistent upon fucking with me. Whether I know them or not. I'm talking clergy, I'm talking spiritualists, I'm talking competitors in the field, I'm talking family, I'm talking motherfuckers, whoever, especially those who stalk me on my social media, especially those who report my videos, especially those who make nasty comments, especially those who have used my content without my permission. Especially those who went behind my back to turn people away from me due to their own jealousy, envy, and greed and insecurity. As a result, collective, of going through all of this, it has created Bloomy in a holistic way. So now I'm not just this programmed, controlled, Stepford Right geisha girl energy. Now I am honing in both masculine and feminine, both softness and sternness. And that is equally all divine. I'm sharing this hoping that for those of you who are, I'm sure, on this kind of path, and maybe you have a very similar story, and maybe you're in the earlier phases of it, and I know the madness that feels like. I also know the heartache that comes when you realize that it was your own that was the most against you more than anybody else. No matter what they try to portray themselves to be like to the public. You know what you've experienced with these people. And you also know what's been revealed. So I know the level of heartache that you'll initially feel. But I promise you, if you just stay with your higher self, stay with source, God, whatever verbiage you're equating to your higher self, your higher power, if you talk to Jesus, or whatever your resonance is here, on the benevolent path, stay there. It pays off. I can promise you that. You guys heard me say back in December that there was so much I wanted to share, the good stuff. And I was super excited, and I kept wanting to tell some things and explode it out and all of that. And I kept getting guided, and I can't, not yet, not now. And, but I wanted to share the positives, the good stuff that was happening for Bloomful within love, for me. And as a result, that would, could help and benefit you all as well. And it's as a result of going through the fire, going through the betrayals, going through the persecution, going through the misunderstandings and the misjudgments, going through, the bullying, the gang stalking, going through people sending their distorted energy and people, it came as a result, and it's still coming as a result of continuing to stay this path and continuing to work on my own energy and heart and commit to my own life and soul and speaking my truth, speaking out without, trying to illegally take matters into my own hands, which is what karmic energies do, right? But I certainly have a right to speak my truth, I find it fascinating how everybody gets in a huff and a puff when they in that hot seat, but they didn't care nothing about decency, compassion, mercy, and understanding integrity when they were doing all the fuck shit against me. It was a point of fun and entertainment and laughter and shit. That's how fucked up these motherfuckers are. Speak my truth. I kept hearing my side of the story because they try to shut you down. This is what narcissists do. Right? Nobody's gonna believe you. Nobody won't, because they go when it comes time, when they know somebody gonna stand in their face and tell them the fuck, what the fuck is happening, they'll ghost you. And then be mad when you ghost them. Then be mad when you go and ghost. It's like, oh, but wasn't you the one that did that on the regular though and shit? Because your God complex. Right? Whoa. So this is their way of trying to silence you. They've already smear campaigned you. They've already done all of that so that people won't hear and believe you. But see, at the end of the day, what eventually starts to happen for where it matters, people start saying through fuck shit. Eventually. At least those who are divinely guided to. Anybody who stays in those lower frequencies and the illusions that they have painted is meant to stay there with them. That's how I feel about that. But you speaking your truth and standing up for yourself is not wrong. Because see, they didn't went about behind your black slithery light to everybody in the Americas, okay, or wherever you are, saying shit and getting all their groups and flying monkeys to co-sign it to make it seem real. Fabricating documents, fabricating truths, half-truths, all that. Meanwhile, they ain't telling you that they a lunatic. They ain't telling you that they more unstable more than a little bit. They ain't telling you about their criminal records. You know what I'm saying? Whoop. But when they can't control you or benefit from you no more, and when karma's starting to whip that ass, then now all of a sudden this is wrong and unfair. But where was the wrongness and unfairness when these people were cyber stalking and bullying and lying and stealing and fucking people's boyfriends and conspiring and shit and all that other shit? Where was the fairness then, bitches? So I ain't hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Collective, you shouldn't either. They try to send sympathy spells and play on your compassion spells. Nope, return to sender not revoked. Nope. Make them forget spells? Absolutely not. Nope. Memory of the elephant? Don't think so. Try again. Rather than do the fuck what's right, they rather resort to all these manipulative tactics, which is essentially what's driving the point home. Where is the sincerity? Where is the authenticity? This is the telltale signs that people aren't legit. Because look, if you're wrong, you fucked up, you fucked up. But when you get to that place of sincerity, you face it. When you get to that place of maturity, you face it, man. It ain't easy. You know, it doesn't feel comfy. But the point is, when you've gotten to this place of sincerity, you've gotten to this place of maturity, you realize, like, this is not okay. I need, because that heart chakra is activated, that conscious is kicking in, the higher realms, the spirit guides is kicking in with on you. And it's like, nah, I was wrong. And no matter how I'm spin this story, I was wrong. No matter what my excuse is, my belief system is, my perception is, this right here though, this shit right here though, was wrong. Period. And rather than trying to do come to me spell, obsessive me spell, forget what I did to you spell, sympathy spell, miss me spell, feel sorry for me spell. No. Be accountable spell, motherfucker. Honesty spell, motherfucker. Sincerity spell, motherfucker. True remorse spell, motherfucker. Ownership spell, motherfucker. Leadership spell, motherfucker. Take initiative spell, motherfucker. Otherwise, not poof. We're not doing that. Neither should you, collective. Don't let people fool you. Don't let them fool you. Don't let people gaslight you. Using your divinity and your love and light and, star seed. Oh, no, yeah, I sure was the fuck I'm a star seed. Yes, Earth Angel, but guess what that comes with, motherfucker? It comes with more than sugar and spice and everything nice. Hello. Have some high-ranking guys. You don't get to fuck over somebody's life and pretend like it didn't happen and want somebody to go drink coffee and smile at you. Bitch, say sorry or keep it pushing. Admit what you did or stay away. Make it right. Clean the shit up properly according to source, God, creator, higher realms, or not. But if it's the not, you will stay the fuck away and out of my energy and out of what belongs to me. And I'm going to close it here, collective. This part is going to be useful for many of you. Something that I have discovered and found out about the twin flame journey, those who are truly on that journey, and the weird kind of fucked up toxic dynamics, karmics, and the this and the that, and the doppelgangers, and the copycatters, and the Ursula C. witches, and the switcheroos, and all of this energy, right? Well, y'all, if you resonate as a divine feminine for real, divine masculine, let me tell you a hidden gem. And to me, it puts a smile in my heart every day because it's like, see, I say to myself, like, now that's what I call justice. Because karmic energies, they thrive off of this lower level frequency 3D shit. Luring somebody with their pussy and with their dick, with their money, with their spells, right? With their illusions, with using religions, whatever the fuck tools that they use, drugs, alcohol, orgy shit, whatever the fuck, right? They get their jollies off of that, right? Being able to get, a broken divine that's not healing and that's, stuck in their shadow and defaulting into karmic energy. And they think that that is a win, but it's not. Here's a little tip. They will never reach the ferocity and the full benefit of a divine connection. They will always have the lower level bootleg version, even if they have managed to get a divine to forfeit their divinity to them. They will never get the full destiny. They will never. There's not a spell they can do. It's going to be full of misery and torment and torture and tower after tower after tower. Because the divinity is connected to the divinity. It's not about who's better. It's science, it's contract, it's higher realms, divinity. You don't get to just say, oh, I'm supposed to do this, and then, well, it's like, okay, free will is at play. You can do whatever. But motherfuckers understand. You will never, ever. So if you're a divine, be at rest with that. Because essentially what's yours is yours anyway. But if a divine being or a divine partner of yours forfeit their divinity out of preferencing to be low vibrational and their shadow, toxic, fear, ego-based karmic energy, they'll never reach the full benefit of their own destiny. Never. As long as they stay there. Some of them, depending on how long they've cycled through different karmic energies, they may never in this whole lifetime, they may actually lose out for this lifetime by their free will. So they'll get riches, they'll get these things and that thing, they'll lose it, they'll get it, it's going to come with torment. This is going to be hell. Because you can't have the benefit and the fullness of a divine path without being divine, truly, without being divinely guided, divinely assigned, and divine in nature. Not the costume. It ain't nothing divine about sucking and fucking your way and spell casting your way into some shit. And on that note, this is all what played a role in the story of Bloomy. And I'm sure it's very similar to you all's story with some variances back. Okay? Chances are, if you're a starseed or angel, you were born into karmic families. Maybe they're not as toxic. Maybe they're not all narcs. Okay? But many of you are going to resonate with that. And it's usually the hardest thing to accept. It's the hardest thing to, that cognitive dissonance starts to kick in. It's that trauma because you can't compute it. These were the people that should have been cheering you on, loving you, caring for you, being compassionate towards you, right? Supporting you, not trying to objectify from you and steal from you and compete with you and one up you and lie. You know what I'm saying? And so just understand, as you get through that part, it gets sweeter. This is when we start stepping into this emperor energy, because we have gone through the Ranger Man. We've seen it all. We've had to stand the test. We're on this hero's journey. We're now walking the life of many humanitarians before us, the persecutions, the injustices, the things we even have read through the scriptures. Scriptures scream of family dysfunction. If you look very close, it's filled with nothing but jealousy and envy and greed and thievery and competitiveness. in one's own family. And on that note, you ain't crazy. They did what they did, y'all. Continue to heal. Know that you deserve love and you are loved, and you deserve connections that are reciprocal and healthy and balanced. Them old sacred cows of, were they still your family? But are they? Because I don't think family would be conspiring against you then. I don't think family would be trying to steal from you then. I don't think family would be trying to fuck your husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends and wives. I don't think your family would be trying to steal your persona and copycat you. Think about it.